one of the many people, I'm assuming, most in this room who's aspiring to be a voice actor. What really got you into it? And you too, on the end of I can't even pronounce your name right now because I'm so nervous. Can you say anything in like Gator and Naruto's voices?
Sure. 5 times? I always think I should have a manga book or something. It's like, yeah. Sasuke, Sasuke, Sasuke. Why does it always have to be all about Sasuke?
There, I only did, I believe, once, if I'm not mistaken. I think I said art is a bang, is that correct? I'll give you 3 in a row, A, B, C. 3 different ways. Art is a bang. Art is a bang! Art is a bang!
And before I shut off this panel, what is your guys' favorite thing about being voice actors, and what inspired you to be so awesome?
My favorite thing about voice acting is I believe it's the most merit-based aspect of show business. Whenever I audition for a role and someone else gets it, I know it's not because they were dating somebody or were slightly taller or slightly thinner. It's because they were better than me, you know. And 9 out of 10 times, like, yeah, that was a much better performance than what I auditioned with. And so,
whereas I disagree. I know it was personal. I carry resentments and judgments.
Every single time.
Every time.
It's a tough life.
Yeah, it is tough. Phil's way of life is easier.
I love it because it's fun, and because oftentimes you get more control as an actor when you're doing voice acting, I think. Like, you get more creativity, usually.
Wider range of characters.
Wider range of characters, yeah. You play against your team. You know, you guys look at me and you're like, what? Why is she playing a ninja? And, yeah, I read the web, people. Yeah. But, so it's a lot of fun. And and creative, and you get to do a lot more, sometimes a lot more work than you would in other things, because it's so technical in other areas.
They've covered it. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, it's perfect, I think. Good.
If I had shoot and talk at the same time.
I'm trying to, yeah. Okay, this is a question for all of you, actually. If you could borrow anybody's voice, alive or dead, fictional, non-fictional, for one day, who would it be and why? And you get kudos if the person you're borrowing from is of the opposite gender of you.
Who makes the most money? I mean, my answer.
That's what I was thinking.
Madonna?
Not with their voice.
Well played, sir.
Well played.
I would have to go with a guy named Ernie Anderson, who is deceased. You would not know him by name, although he's the father of Paul Thomas Anderson.
I know it.
You may know him by name. He did Boogie Nights. He did a lot of other motion pictures. Ernie Anderson was the voice of ABC, and he was the voice of everything on ABC, and he had rich, melodious tones. And back in the day, growing up, I remember hearing him when he would say, "The Love Boat." Up next on ABC's The Love Boat. And man, he used to bang out commercials left and right. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. And I love that guy. He was a creative genius, he was hilarious, and he just had one of the best voices in voiceover.
I'd have to say, well, there are a few people. There are a lot of us, have really cool, interesting voices. But then there are a handful of people who can do things with their voice that humans just shouldn't be able to do. Billy West, D. Bradley Baker. Fred, yeah. But if I had to take one person's voice for a day, it would be Frank Walker.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because, well, you know what? Yeah, because the thing is, I couldn't get the talent, because I couldn't fit Frank's talent inside my body, it just wouldn't work. But at least even with his voice, because he can do things that you don't even know where they're coming from. What is it, the 16 ducks singing Happy Birthday? Yeah. But the thing is, he does things that you just shouldn't be able to do. Like, why can I hear multiple ducks when he's doing the stuff? I mean, it's like, he can do a duck sound, which I can barely do. He can do several. Yeah, that would be my one.
Thanks. Okay.
My question is actually for all three of you.
Yes, you're not. Sorry.
Yesterday, you guys were saying how improv was a very big part of what got you to where you are now, and it's one of the important parts that they look for when it comes to voice acting, as well as full reading. Now, when it comes to submitting a demo reel to different people, what would you suggest that we have in there aside from showing our talent? Would you recommend showing our vocal range, how we can portray emotion? Like, what would be the strongest thing to incorporate in that reel?
Bribery money.
Whiskey.
Cash money. Well, one thing I would say is your demo should be specific, yet show range. Because sometimes when people think about showing range, like, okay, I'll do one commercial. Chris, deodorant soap, and then they'll do a character too. It's like, no, those are two completely different worlds. Animation character voices and commercial reads are two different things. You should not submit one demo that has a bunch of different things, because nobody wants to hear it. They want to hear. You have to limit yourself in a certain respect to what it is you're trying to do. What is your strength? What is the thing you are best at? That's the only thing you present to somebody. And in fact, if you have a demo and you've got like 2 good characters and then 3 so-so ones, stop. Don't submit it. Because you don't want to give somebody a reason to reject you. You want to give them a demo that they can't reject. And if that means waiting until you develop more characters, then that's what it means. Thank you. There you go.
Agreed.
This is for all of you, but
Dude, seriously, how is your voice so deep? That's insane. I was so not expecting that to come out. That's some Taze on bass stuff right there.
sorry. So my question is, what makes bad voice acting really bad? Like, why can you play a video game and just rip out your hair whenever that character speaks, or you're watching it dub and you just don't even want to
Hey, go look at this.
I just think a flat delivery, probably. People that don't show range. I don't watch it. I don't watch bad things. Because I don't like them, then I turn them off.
I remember, I think it was talking to somebody else about this, Resident Evil, one of the early games, it was a really good game. The game was well made, and the voice acting was so bad that it made it not scary. And I think part of it was the people doing the voices couldn't communicate, the emotion that they were supposed to be feeling. And if you don't have that, okay, I'm seeing something that should make me feel scared, and then I'm listening to somebody who is feeling nothing. I think the biggest problem is people are reading something off of a page, and you know how it is when you're reading something. You speed up, you flatten out. It's like, Okay, well, Kirkland signature community drinking water. That's how most people read. And when you're doing voiceover, you're reading. And if it sounds anything like that, that's bad voiceover.
So yeah, it also depends on the director and the producer, and they're making the decisions, and sometimes they make bad decisions. And apparently, in some of these games in which you're talking about, it sounds like they're making bad decisions on casting and directing and producing.
Thank you.
My name's Jamie, and like a lot of other people around here, it sounds like I'm also an aspiring voice actor, and I wasn't here yesterday, like somebody was, I guess. And I'm just wondering how any of you, if you have any specific tips on like how you got started. I'm just trying to break into it, and like how that worked out for you guys.
It all worked out. We're all working. And of course, sometimes we're not working. Part of our job is to audition on a regular basis. That's the life of a working actor. We all have theatrical backgrounds, and sketch backgrounds, improvisation backgrounds, right?
Yep.
And so I know for me that's where it started. It started in theater and music and improv training, and then eventually I, quite accidentally found out about this world of voiceover and saw that you could take voiceover workshop classes. So that's what I did. I ended up taking a voiceover workshop class for commercial training, and then eventually for animation training, and decided to pursue it. I had been doing impressions since I was a little kid, and found so much fun by doing that I wanted to take it further. And so taking it further, they then guided me in developing, the process. And after I got to a point where I had enough tricks in my bag, or tricks of the trade, as they say, I was able to make a demo. And then after you have a demo, then you move on to trying to find an agent. And once you find an agent, it only takes one. I think I knocked on about 18 doors before I found one who said yes. And it only takes that one to say yes, and then you start on that path that we are on regularly, which is auditioning. Auditioning until you break into that first job.
Yeah, and get a skill, because it ain't gonna happen quick. Like, I always tell people when they're asking about that, I'm like, you know what? For some people it happens quickly, for other people it's like, whether you learn how to type or research or translate or, do whatever. But if you have that in your back pocket, then you can always work, you can always work on that stuff. Especially now with technology, you can buy a microphone, practice, take classes and practice. But definitely, be a waitress or a caterer or something. Just have something to get you through until you're able to make it happen.
Question. When you guys started doing voiceover, did you pursue just voiceover?
No.
I did. I threw away everything. Theatrical, music I was working on, and I just dumped it all and went straight to voiceover.
Interesting. Okay. Because when you asked that, lately I've been having this weird reaction. It's like, what do you mean you just want to be a voice actor? Who just wants to be a voice actor? It's like, I just want to be a left-handed man. You want to play ball. It's like, you got to catch, you got to pitch, you got to throw, you got to run. You can't just stand up and bat. But I guess you can these days. You can be a DH. You can just be a voice actor. But to me, it seems like, I don't know. I don't know how you can break it down. Because so many of the people I know in voiceover who are so good got that way by pursuing things other than voiceover or, creative skills. My advice to people is always do it. If you have friends who are animators, hang out with them. They will need somebody to voice. My friend Tommy Smeltzer always, whenever anybody comes up and asks him that, he says, I said this other day, go home, read out loud for an hour every day for 2 weeks, then come back. He says no one ever comes back. Because it's really difficult. I mean, and I think if you do that, it will get you used to hearing your own voice, get you used to reading, get you used to hearing what you're doing when you're reading. And, you know, is it flat? Is it the same thing? Can I listen to myself do this for an hour? Dear God, no. Why would anyone else want to pay me for it?
I feel that every day. Why are people paying me
You
for
can
this?
read the phone book.
Yeah, but no one wants to hear it. It's like the phone book if you smoked a pack. Gross. Here's the phone book, kids.